go across. We've got the Finance Minister. He's at a joint press conference with the US Treasury Secretary, and he's at the moment talking to the media.
Information between the two countries. We've also had an opportunity to explain to our colleagues from the United States the initiatives which we have recently taken as far as Indian economy is concerned, which have aroused a great deal of interest amongst the investors. Our flagship programs of the government, from financial inclusion to Skill India, Digital India, the Swach Bharat Abhiyan, and the impact of those programs in India was discussed at length. We, of course, have a great interest in attracting global investment into India. This investment is targeted particularly in the infrastructure sector. Also, we need a lot of investment as far as our manufacturing is concerned. And steps which we are taking to ease in the process of doing business in India also came up for discussion today. I can only tell you that this was an extremely useful session that we've had, and there have been a great opportunity for us to understand each other much better, and I'm sure this continuation of the fifth round that we've had today, our colleagues will continue to discuss this issue further at very frequent meetings in various subgroups, and this cooperation is going to be further strengthened with the holding of this very successful round. I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request the Honorable US Secretary of Treasury, Mr. Jacob Lew, to make his remarks, please.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back in India for my first visit as Treasury Secretary, and I want to thank Finance Minister Jaitley for hosting today, and it's a pleasure to meet with him again. The Obama administration has made opening and deepening bonds between the United States and India a key priority. The President reaffirmed that commitment when he visited India last month, the first time a U.S. President has come to India twice while in office. We're partners in so many ways in our economics as democracies and as diverse societies with a desire to grow. Our commitment is rooted in the belief that we can significantly advance both of our interests by promoting economic ties and increasing trade between our two growing markets. And that's why we're meeting for the 5th annual U.S.-India Economic and Financial Partnership. Since the partnership began, we've developed our engagement in a number of important areas, expanding macroeconomic cooperation to support global growth, strengthening our financial sectors, resolving tax disputes, combating illicit finance, and facilitating long-term investment through the development of deeper capital markets in India. And over the last few years, we've seen significant progress. For example, trade between our countries has reached nearly $100 billion a year. Today, both of our countries are making the hard choices necessary to raise growth and employment for our populations. In India, the Modi government has taken steps to reduce fuel subsidies, allowing the government to continue reducing deficits while providing the fiscal space to make investments that will boost growth and raise employment. Yesterday, I visited a unique identification enrollment center in Kohli village. This initiative underscores how increasing active participation in an economy helps promote growth and prosperity. And the scale, enrolling 800 million people, is truly remarkable. India's rapid and impressive financial inclusion campaign will provide critical services by enabling a direct benefits transfer and improving the accountability and efficiency of India's programs. And together we can do more to help ensure widely shared growth, to promote job creation, and to strengthen demand. In addition, the Modi government has made headway on reforms that will facilitate foreign investment in India's infrastructure sector, helping India to meet its significant infrastructure needs. Still, additional reforms are needed, and an increase in public investment combined with more open investment climate and a deeper financial sector will help attract private infrastructure investment. At the same time, external balances have improved, inflation has moderated, and the government has signaled its commitment to strengthen its fiscal position. As India makes progress on its economic reform program and follows through on the difficult decisions that reform requires, the United States stands ready to be a partner doing what we can. The United States has had to make a series of tough choices in recent years, putting in place reforms to our financial sector, improving our health care system, controlling our deficit, and asking the most fortunate citizens to contribute a little more. These policy decisions were not easy, but they were instrumental in helping our economy recover from the worst recession since the Great Depression. Along the way, some voiced doubts about our economic policies. I think the performance our economy has shown demonstrates the power of using policy tools effectively to promote stronger economic conditions. Our economy is much stronger today with healthy growth, the creation of more than 11 million jobs in the longest streak of job growth in our nation's history, and federal budget deficits falling. Still, we need to do more to make sure that our economic gains reach more Americans, and the President has put forward a budget that will help grow and strengthen the middle class through rising wages, higher incomes, and increased opportunity. I'd like to close by pointing out that India and the United States have so much in common. Our values, our democratic traditions, and our commitment to broad-based prosperity. There's still much we can do. Even with the growth in trade that we've achieved between our two nations, only 2% of America's imports came from India, and only about 1% of America's exports go to India. The fact is, the untapped potential in our economic relationship is enormous. And by working together to realize this potential, we can strengthen both of our economies. And by investing in each other's success, we can build a stronger and a brighter future. Thank you very much for the gracious hospitality, and we look forward to answering your questions.
Okay. Now the House is open for the questions. I would request you to either first introduce yourself and your organization and to whom the question is directed. Yes, gentleman from this side.
Sir, Arupra Chaudhary from the Business Standard.
No, let him, please. This behind you. Thank you.
I'm Anand Kala from the Wall Street Journal. My question is to Secretary Lu. Would like to know Secretary Lu's views on how the current government has done so far, and do you think the pace of reforms has been up to the levels that you thought? Some specifics on different economic reforms that you might have discussed with the officials in the course of the 2 days you've been here would be good.
Well, as Minister Jaitley noted in his opening remarks, we covered a broad range of bilateral and multilateral issues, and we went through many of the areas of reform. I think that in many areas the government is moving forward and showing real progress, and that's a very encouraging sign. In terms of some of our bilateral issues, we're seeing real progress at resolving tax disputes that have lingered for many years, and with the resolution of those becoming clear, I think that's going to just enhance the environment for U.S. companies to feel comfortable investing in India. The reforms in terms of financial inclusion that we discussed earlier are both impressive in scale, but hugely important in terms of empowering citizens to participate in the economic system. And in the area of threat finance, where we have shared interests, there's been deeper and deeper cooperation. So I think on a broad range of issues, we've seen progress, and I think that the meetings that our President and the Prime Minister have had show that at the very top of our governments, there's an interest in this relationship becoming even deeper, and I think the meetings we had today reinforce that.
Next question, please. Yeah, Mr. Victor.
Hi, thanks. Victor Mallet, Financial Times. I'd like to ask Mr. Jaitley how you see the prospects for the reforms that you've outlined. How easy is it going to be to enact them, including reforms that are going to benefit U.S. investors? How easy is it going to be to actually implement these kind of reforms, given the blockage that you've got in the upper house, and given that the Delhi election is showing that it's going to be more difficult than ever to have complete control of Parliament?
I think the government is determined to go ahead on the path of economic reforms. We believe that the kind of reforms we have undertaken are certainly going to bring in investment, generate jobs, improve the quality of life of people, and also help us in alleviating poverty levels. It's only this that will give the strength to the Indian economy to even be in a position to expand a large number of our poverty alleviation programs and social schemes. And therefore, the fact that 4 elections have been won and 1 has not been won is absolutely no ground for believing that there would be any slowdown on the path on which we have undertaken.
Next question, please. Anybody? Yeah.
So, Arup from the Business Standard. My question is for Secretary Liu. So, what are the United States expectations from the upcoming budget, from the Finance Minister's upcoming budget?
I will leave it to Minister Jaitley to put his budget together. Having had the joy of putting budgets together, I know how challenging a job that is. But I think that the issues that I referenced already show the kinds of progress that can be made by rebalancing priorities, by making sensible changes that free up resources so that you can have fewer subsidies that distort the economy, more investment in things like infrastructure that help build the economy, and a fiscal path that makes sense. So I'm not going to prejudge the budget that the minister is working on, but I think the reform issues that we talked about are the kinds of things that ultimately manifest themselves over the years in budget policies.
Now the last question would be for Indian Finance Minister, please.
May I ask a question, sir?
It's up to you.
Douglas Busfine from Reuters. Thank you, sir, gentlemen. You touched in your statements on money laundering, on illicit financial flows, and I wondered if you could elaborate a little bit on what you've discussed. There are obviously concerns about financial flows involving Iranian oil export receipts that are accumulating in an Indian state bank, and I'd like to understand whether this is part of your discussion and something you plan to address. Thank you.
Well, this issue in specific did not come up during the dialogue. We did discuss money laundering and funding of terrorism, but I can tell you that since a large number of these funds, even in relation to the illustration that you gave just now, come through concealed identities, this issue has been brought to our notice, and the concerned authorities, including the central bank, have taken appropriate actions in that matter.
Now
I would only add that we have had a close cooperative working relationship between the government of the United States and the government of India, and the conversations that we've had over these last couple of days suggest that that relationship is only getting deeper, and it's because we share common threats and we share a common commitment to working together to try as best we can to shut down the flow of funding to those who would commit terrorist acts and other kinds of activities that threat financing supports.
So I think, friends, with this the press conference comes to an end. Now I thank to both the dignitaries and
okay, the joint press conference by the Finance Minister of India and the US Treasury Secretary. What did he say? The Finance Minister said that the loss in Delhi elections will not slow them down at all, slow down their economic policies. And the US Treasury Secretary asking for a further cut, if possible, in subsidies to enhance growth and employment.